What is good, YouTube? It's the Babbling Bros. I'm Dan.
I'm Taylor.
And we are here with our first ever video. Coronavirus has brought us here. Let's just see how it goes. Hopefully we entertain you guys. I know I'm going to be entertained. So let's get started.
So we want to start off talking about football, obviously. End of this football season, playoffs start next week. Let's be for real. This whole football season was crazy. You had players going out left and right with COVID quarantine, whether it was they actually had COVID, they came in contact with someone, whatever it may be. Some fans were allowed at some stadiums, some weren't allowed at all. Never experienced anything like this. It was weird, but at least we got to have a season because, I know when quarantine first started and there was no sports going on because everything was shut down, I was going insane. I love watching sports, and here we are talking about it because this is our passion.
We love Netflix, but there's nothing that compares to sports.
That's a fact.
And watching it with the bros. So let's not bore you too much. Let's get into it. We got our little itinerary right here. And let's see. Start with Giants versus Cowboys.
So,
you want to go? Yeah.
Yeah, me personally, I'm a Giants fan. Watching this game was very stressful for me. It was up and down and typical of the Giants right now. Throughout the game, though, I think the Giants played well. They really pulled together. They pulled together as a team. It gives me a lot of hope for next season. The Cowboys...
Atrocious. Ezekiel Elliott. Where was Ezekiel Elliott this season? Nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with him. Obviously, not having Dak Prescott really hurt the Cowboys this season. But hey, it's part of the game, right? Next man up. That's the way I always looked at it when I played. You always got to be ready for something like that to happen. So,
now I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you think about Daniel Jones, though?
I like him. I think he has a lot of potential. I think we need to fill in around him. And I think if we do good in free agency in the draft, I could see the Giants easily making the playoffs next year and not having to deal with what we went through as Giants fans this past weekend, because for me it was miserable. I was on such a high when the Giants won, and then when the Washington football team won, I was on such a low. But I think the Giants have a lot of potential for next season. We have a very young core of guys that I like a lot. I like our coach a lot. I see a lot of potential in the Giants. I see a lot of potential in Daniel Jones. We just need to fill in around him, right? We're going to get Saquon back. That's going to be huge for us. We're having a lot of returning players with our receiving core. It's not a great receiving core. That's where we need to fill in.
Yeah, we need a better receiver.
In my opinion, we either need to...
We have a lot of number twos, high end, like low number twos, high number threes. That's what
right. Like Darius Slayton, to me, he's a high number two. He's not quite a number one. Golden Tate, he's a slot receiver. There's no way around that.
I like Sterling Shepard. I've always liked Sterling Shepard.
I do too, but again, he's a slot receiver.
Yeah.
He's a Wes Welker, Golden Tate type player. Like, we can't fill our team with one type of player.
Before we talk about the receivers really quick, though, I just want to give my 2 cents about Daniel Jones.
Let's hear it.
Giants fan, listen, I'm happy we got him instead of Dwayne Haskins, but I just don't see Daniel Jones as that elite quarterback, that Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. He's just a middle-of-the-line quarterback to me, similar to Eli Manning.
I agree. But
that's why you need a good team around him.
Right. But, to me, that's all you need. You need a guy who's going to be consistent. You need a guy who has the ability to make a big play, which I think Daniel Jones does with the right weapons around him. And is it nice to have an elite player like maybe a Patrick Mahomes or an Aaron Rodgers? Absolutely. They change teams.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. Daniel Jones is very capable, in my opinion, of being a franchise quarterback for the Giants. He has some more development to do because he's still young. I think he can do it. He definitely has the football smarts. I've seen it in games. He just needs to develop more. He needs more practice. And I think going into next season, too, a big thing that's going to happen, too, is a continuation of the coaching staff.
I'm just going to set a timer here because I don't want to talk about this for too long. I'm going to set it for 3 more minutes about this subject. Okay, let's keep going.
But yeah, the Giants have a very solid base right now. We have a young linebacking core, which I love. Blake Martinez is obviously the center of that. We picked him up in the offseason. Great pickup. Definitely one of the most underrated linebackers in the league, in my opinion. But we need to build. That's what we need to do. And I think a big thing that's going to help us next year too, like we started off slow. It was a new coach, a first-time head coach.
Good coach.
I like him a lot.
I like him a lot too.
But it was new to everybody. It was a new coach for all the players. It was a new job for the head coach. But I think with the continuation into next season, with that, we're already on a better start for next year.
The only reason I think the Giants have a chance of being successful in the upcoming years is because the NFC East is so bad. It's so bad.
It is. It definitely is.
It's horrible.
But you know what? When you really break it down and look at it, all the teams have a solid base that they can now build around.
Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the conference, in my opinion.
I think Dak's a little overrated, personally.
I think that's a different subject, but I think Jalen Hurts is above Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is out of here.
We'll see what happens.
Out of Philly.
That's going to be an interesting play in the offseason. Moving in, like,
you know what, let's just go into it then. Let's go into Eagles versus Redskins, and
it's not the Redskins anymore, bud. It's the Washington football team.
The Washington football team.
I still can't get over that. How do you not have a name for your team?
I'll say the Washington football team for video purposes, but in my mind, yeah, it's not. It's the Redskins.
But Eagles versus Washington. That game, the Eagles went into that game. They had, I think it was 11 starters not playing, whether it was due to injury, COVID listing, whatever the case may be. They went into that game like they had no chance pretty much on paper. But they went out there in the beginning of the game and they played hard. They played like they wanted to win. They wanted to upset Washington and they wanted to send them home. And that's what rivalries are about, in my opinion. Personally, what Doug Peterson did, I think he threw that game, which is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. These are professional athletes. They get paid to go out and win games. Us as fans want to see our teams win games, right? It's not like they were so bad where they're fighting for the number one pick. They weren't getting the number one pick. It wasn't going to happen, so why throw the game?
Listen, you just got to play with a sense of integrity in the league. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Giants fan, because honestly, the Giants didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. 6-10, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. However, as a former, all right, we finished the Giants. As a former athlete, I feel like you have to respect every single game. You have to play to win, and you can't just throw it like that. That's disrespecting the NFL. That's disrespecting the players that worked their butts off to get to the point where they are. How is Doug Peterson going to walk into the locker room and tell his team what he told the press, that he played to win the game?
He didn't.
He didn't. The only thing that I could say is might have came from the upper offices. We don't know. We'll never know. But if it didn't, that's ridiculous.
And listen, I get where he said before the game he wanted to try to, what was his name?
Nate Sudfeld.
Sudfeld, yeah. He wanted to get Sudfeld in to see what he had. And I get it. I do.
He's doo-doo.
First of all, yeah, he was terrible. He played like absolute garbage.
I've never seen a quarterback
play
worse.
I said it, like, his first snap.
I feel bad
he just
for
looked
him.
awkward standing behind center.
He didn't want to take the snap. I feel so bad for him. If you're in the NFL, you're a good player. I'm sure he's a great player, but by NFL standards, that was...
Yeah, it was...
That was brutal.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
But just... I get where he's coming from, going back to what I was saying. I get where he's coming from with that, like wanting to see what your players have. But at the same time, that's why you have a preseason. Like, he easily could have done that next preseason.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason that they had to do it in week 17.
There's no reason he gets a full quarter to do it.
Yeah, bro. And like when he went in and played like garbage. He played terrible.
After 2 possessions, I would have taken him out.
Take him out.
Put Jalen Hurts back in if you're playing to win.
It was ridiculous, right?
But wouldn't you want to see Jalen Hurts in those type of situations?
Yes. And that's another thing too. That's where the logic stops making sense, because if you do think Jalen Hurts is your next guy, which I'm assuming the Eagles do think that, the coaching thinks that, the front office thinks that, you want to see how he's going to perform under pressure. And to take him out to put in Sudfeld,
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
And like you were saying, it's disrespectful to everybody in the game. I was watching the game live. You could see that the linemen were physically upset or angry.
Oh, did you see Jalen Hurts on the bench? I saw this on social media. I'm not sure where. There was a video. He shook his head and said, he mouthed, "This isn't right. This is not right." And they put it on social media somewhere. Maybe Bleacher Report or something.
I didn't see that, but they kept showing him on camera during the game, and I wasn't really paying attention to what he was mouthing. But I could see he was physically upset or angry. The whole starting line, they came off the field after one of the turnovers, and you could tell they were pissed. They were upset. They were angry. Zach Ertz is one of your best players in Philadelphia, right? He's one of the best players in Philadelphia. He stayed after the game, sitting on the bench. I saw a picture of it. It's the back, but he had his head down. It looked like he was crying, and he stayed there for a couple hours after the game. You could tell he was upset.
That's a Super Bowl champion with the Eagles.
Yeah, and this could potentially be his last season in Philly. He's signed under contract through next year, but who knows? They could trade him. He could not opt out, but refuse to play, kind of like Le'Veon did, because he doesn't want to get hurt. He wants to get another contract. But they didn't sign him to an extension, so who knows what's going to happen this offseason with him? We don't know. And then in his press conference too, he was literally crying.
Yeah.
Like, how are you
saying? How are you going to go out like that?
Yeah, like as a head coach, how do you keep your locker room after something like that?
He should be okay. I'm just going to end it on this. Is the last thing I'm going to say because we can go on and on about it. In my opinion, the NFL needs to do something about this. Someone needs to get either fined or fired. Dock draft picks, maybe. And also one more thing. Congratulations to Alex Smith after everything he's been through.
And Ron Rivera, too.
And Ron Rivera. They both deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm super happy for them, even as a Giants fan. And I hope Alex Smith plays well. We'll get into the playoffs later, but
I don't know if you saw this. I saw this on social media somewhere. After Alex Smith's surgery, he had like a rigid metal leg brace, right? Mm-hmm. And his wife got it made into a Lombardi Trophy, like sculpted into a Lombardi Trophy. I thought it was sick. Like that's such a cool idea by her. So that's awesome.
It's a good wife.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're Giants fans, but we don't have anything against the Washington football team.
Oh my God, yeah. We were saying the Redskins this whole time. Oh, the Washington football team.
Yeah,
Washington football team.
But it's just it hurt watching that game. It really did. After the Giants won, after I went through the roller coaster of emotions when Wayne Gallman fumbled the second time on that last drive and then
and sat on like he pooped it out.
So I went through that roller coaster of emotions. I was on a high coming out of that game, going into the night game. I was excited. I usually wouldn't watch a meaningless game like that. Well, it wasn't.
They moved the game to Sunday Night Football too
for a reason.
I forgot to mention that.
That's true too. Like
they moved it for a reason to Sunday Night Football. Yeah, you have. I know there are no fans in the stands or limited amount, but you have people watching the game on TV and paying some sort of revenue to watch it on TV. You know,
you have them.
You have buying the merchandise.
Yeah, like I know a lot of. I think Philadelphia did this. They had fans. It was essentially a donation to the team to keep the stadium up and running, but paying so they could have their cardboard cutouts in the stands, like stuff like that. Like you have dedicated football fans. I'm one of them. For example, I know the Eagles have a super fan. I forget his name. The Giants have a super fan, license plate guy, Fireman Ed for the Jets. Like, these teams have people who are so dedicated to them, and they're not even going to do the best they can to win their game. And it's not like they got that much of a benefit out of losing.
What's the difference between a 6 pick and, like, 3 picks lower?
Not much.
Honestly.
Not much, really, when you think about it.
I know in the NBA it's, like, a big deal because it's, like, one player means a lot because the NBA is different. But the NFL, I just feel like it's more of a team effort unless you're getting a franchise quarterback.
To me, and the thing is, like, to me, getting that lower pick, I don't even know what they were off the top of my head, but losing that game and getting that pick was more detrimental to the team because of the way it happened. Because now the players
nobody's going to stay there.
No. Yeah. I shouldn't say no. A lot of the players there lost complete respect for Doug Peterson. I read that a lot of players had to be held back from approaching him directly after the game.
I read that too.
I don't know.
We don't know where we're reading this, but like we're following these social media, ESPN, Bleacher Report, yada yada yada.
So to me, that's more detrimental to the team than getting the better draft pick. I don't think it was worth it, but
should we keep talking about
whatever it is, what it is.
We got everything out.
Congratulations to the Redskins, I guess. I'm sorry, the Washington football team. I keep doing that.
Yeah, I'm still repping my Giants jersey. They lost. I don't care, Giants fans. That's what we do.
That's what true fans do.
You're not going to stop repping your team. 2 Super Bowls in the past. What was it?
2007, 2011.
Yeah.
Well.
Eagles won 1, but we won 2.
What are we going to do from now? We're going to be hopeful for next year. We're going to follow in the offseason just like everybody else. See what moves the Giants make, see what moves other teams make, and see where it goes.
All right.
Just kind of piggybacking off of that.
Yeah.
Where it comes down to playing for respect, having respect for yourself, having respect for your team, having respect enough to try to win. J.J. Watt, I think it was last week, right? Had a press conference where he got real emotional.
He was really pissed. He was pissed.
Yeah, because players on their team just pretty much gave up because they knew there was no shot of making the playoffs.
He's a dog.
J.J. Watt is one of those players where not only is he a great player on the field, he is just a great person. He doesn't beat around the bush. Yeah, and
he gets to the point.
And he doesn't.
He plays correct. He
does what you're supposed to do as a professional athlete. He's constantly working. He's constantly there on time. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Do you remember him on Hard Knocks?
I don't. I didn't watch that year of Hard Knocks. Whatever.
We'll skip over that. If any of you remember him on Hard Knocks, he stayed after like 3 hours practicing. Whatever.
Yeah, because that's what it takes to be great. And he is a true. No matter what your record is, he doesn't give up. And he got really emotional in his press conference. And then I also saw a video.
The J.J. Watt.
I believe it was on SportsCenter's Instagram, where J.J. Watt and Deshaun Watson were walking off the field. And J.J. Watt essentially apologized to Deshaun Watson for wasting his time this year. Because Deshaun Watson went off. He's a passing yards leader.
He's in his prime, yeah.
He plays great. He was
a top 3 quarterback last year. I'd say Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and I guess Russell Wilson. Aaron Rodgers didn't do that hell last year.
Last year, Aaron Rodgers didn't. Yeah. Drew Brees is always.
But then this year, you didn't hear anything about him.
Yeah, because the team sucked.
And I don't know how you go from being that good to that.
And you know what? The perfect proof that he is a great player. Excuse me. He is a great player, and the perfect proof is Hopkins leaving the team or getting traded, or I don't know exactly. I forget what happened, but now he's on the Cardinals. He's one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league.
Yeah. Him, Julio Jones.
So a lot of people were trying to make the argument that Hopkins made Deshaun Watson good. He didn't. Deshaun Watson was the passing yards leader this year. He played great. He played balls to the wall every week. And he did what he had to do. And
I'll take Deshaun Watson to start my team any day.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those quarterbacks that...
He can run it. He can throw it. He's intellectual.
He's a great weapon. And I hope for him, because I do like him as a player. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard anything bad about him off the field, but, I mean, I don't know. I don't know him personally, obviously. But from what I know, he is a good person off the field, too. I hope that they figure something out and get a team around him, because they were good, and I think they can continue to be good. They just, need some weapons.
Do you think that DeAndre Hopkins leaving the Texans and them having a bad season shows his importance, or do you think it was something else?
It definitely shows his importance to a degree. I mean, do I think they would have been that much better with him? No. Yeah. Maybe borderline wildcard team with him.
I just feel like a wide receiver doesn't make or break a team.
They could. I mean, when you look around the league,
look at OBJ. OBJ went out, and the Browns are still doing really well.
Yeah, but I mean,
they have Jarvis Landry.
Look at everybody else on that team.
Yeah, they have Nick Chubb.
They have Chubb. They have Kareem Hunt. They have Jarvis Landry. They have 3 good tight ends.
All right, yeah, you're right. All right, yeah.
You can't say that, but if you look when OBJ left the Giants, it made a huge difference.
Yeah. because they have no receivers.
A receiver could definitely make or break a team, especially a generational talent like DeAndre Hopkins. They would have had more wins with him, in my opinion, because it takes a focus from the defense onto him and opens up a lot of other opportunities, whether it be running or passing to other players.
I've always been the proponent that a good quarterback or a great quarterback makes a good receiver. A good receiver does not make a good quarterback.
It could go either way. It really could go either way, though. It really could go either way. I mean, you look at Tom Brady. He made Wes Welker. He made Amendola, Edelman.
Randy Moss for a little bit, but
Randy Moss was already sick. Like that. But you look at that, and I think that also has a lot to do with coaching. Bill Belichick just manages when you have the right fit at quarterback, which Cam Newton clearly wasn't.
Not a bad player.
He's not a bad player, but
he's out of his prime.
He's out of his prime, and he's not a good fit for that system.
No, he's not.
He's not. Like he's probably one of the furthest things from Tom Brady that you could have, and the system was built for Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. But
I knew that was going to happen. I knew the Bucs were going to do better than the Patriots.
Well, I mean, when you look at the rosters, you don't have.
Yeah, I know, but like other analysts were trying to argue that the Patriots were going to have a better season than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that just infuriated me because I was like, no way.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah. If it came down to more of Tom Brady just going to the Bucs and leaving the Patriots without picking up any of the extra weapons that the Bucs did, then I would say maybe. Mm-hmm. But the Bucs picked up way too many weapons. I mean, look at their receiving core for one.
The Bucs,
yeah. Like Mike Evans,
Antonio Brown,
Gronkowski, Gronk, Chris Godwin.
Yeah, Godwin.
That's
4 right there.
Bro, like,
the Giants don't even have one.
No matter where Tom Brady looks, there's going to be a guy to throw to. Like, you can't. It's hard to be bad.
We're babbling right now. We're getting off topic.
That's what this is about, right?
Yeah.
But when you have a receiving core like that, dude, it's hard not to be. That's one of those situations where you can put a lot of different quarterbacks out there and they're going to be successful.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
So, like, receiving core could definitely make or break a quarterback. If like it could turn an average quarterback really good, or it could turn if you have a really bad receiving core. It could turn.
I want to see Daniel Jones with one solid freaking Pro Bowl receiver.
Yeah, I agree. I think going into the draft, that needs to be one of their biggest positions to fill because we got our
Pro Bowl receiver. See what Daniel Jones does because that is going to determine whether he is your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I say this every single year, but we also need to figure out and solidify our offensive line. I think we made a step in the right direction with that this year. We played a lot better than we have the past few years at offensive line.
Defense was great.
Definitely can improve.
Their defense was a top 10 defense.
Yeah, I mean, our defense played lights out. I think we can it's not a top priority to me, but I think we can make a few improvements in the secondary at corner because really, I mean, we have Bradbury. And then we have Jabril Peppers and Logan Ryan at safety. We don't really have a second solid corner. I think that could be an area to improve upon maybe in free agency if there's someone available. I don't even know who's going to be available in free agency, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that or?
I mean,
we'll just mention it.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard, Josh Jacobs got arrested for DUI a few hours after their
last second win. They came back. They won against the Broncos. Incredible win.
Did they win?
Yeah, they won.
Okay, I didn't even know.
Yeah, they came back.
A few hours after they got back from that game, Josh Jacobs got arrested for DUI.
Listen, I'll just say a couple lines about it. People make mistakes. You should never drive drunk. That's really
huge.
bad.
That's huge.
That's really bad.
Listen,
I feel bad for him, but you can't drive drunk. You can't.
The way I look at this, and this is where it really becomes an issue for me, is anyone I know, whenever they drink, if they're out somewhere and don't have a safe ride home.
You have so much money. You're a pro athlete. Call an Uber.
Lyft. Call a taxi. Go the old-fashioned way and call a damn taxi.
Yeah.
I don't care. You have so much money, you don't have to worry about breaking the bank I don't care. Call an Uber.
Literally.
Call a Lyft. Call a taxi.
And it just
call a friend.
It puts
do something.
Other people's lives
driving.
in danger. It puts your career in jeopardy. It's just not good. And
drunk driving is one of the worst things you can do. There's no upside to it and a ton of downside. Let's just forget about that. It's illegal for a second. It is so dangerous, man. Like, so many innocent people could get hurt, and that's why it irritates me, because this guy, he's an idol for a lot of these younger guys, I'm sure, especially in Oakland, because
Las Vegas.
I know. Oakland, because that's where the Raiders are from. That's when he first joined the team, and Las Vegas. I'm sure a lot of young kids look up to him.
Washington football team.
But you go out and do this, not only are you endangering the lives of others, but you're also making an impression on young kids that look up to you.
Yep.
And especially a player like Josh Jacobs, he's good. There's going to be a lot of young kids looking up to him.
All right,
it's dumb. It's dumb. That's bottom line.
Oh, okay. This is the part I want to get to.
So,
besides the Eagles Redskins game, Washington football team game.
Let's look into next week a little bit. First matchup we have is
playoffs.
The Browns versus Steelers. Well, before we even get into that, I just want to talk about the new playoff format. I like it a lot. All right, there's an extra team in the playoffs from each division, the NFC and the AFC. I like that a lot. Get more teams in, because you never know. Look at the 07 Giants. They went 8-8, lost their last game to the undefeated Patriots, went on a run, and then beat the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like, anything could happen at any point. Get as many teams in
the playoffs as you can. It helps revenues. It helps for the fan bases. It
gets people excited.
There's no downfall for it unless you start letting in like 75% of the league. That's an
obviously
issue.
You can't do that. It's the playoffs.
But I also like this.
I like the new setup, and it also gives benefit for being number one. Because now only the number one seeds have buys, not the number one and the number two seeds. So, for example, this year the Packers and the Chiefs have buys. Now it really gives incentive to be the best, whereas you didn't necessarily need to be the best in the past. You could have been number two and still got that bye.
Yep. I like it too.
What does it mean? But I like it a lot. Let's get into it. Browns versus Steelers.
I'll let you go first. You want to go first? Or
whatever you...
All right, I'll go first.
All right.
I like the Browns, baby. The Browns are going to beat the Steelers. The Steelers have lost 4 of their last 5 games. Juju Smith-Schuster, dance your way back home. You are not going to win this game. Baker Mayfield is elite. I'm telling you, he's going to win the game. They have a great defense. They have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They have a great receiving core. And Baker Mayfield has proven himself to me. I was skeptical about him, but guess what? You put a little help around him, and look what he's doing. He's back to his college days over here. Steelers, I don't like them. I don't like Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't like TikTok. I don't like Ben Roethlisberger. He's old. Good quarterback still, but I just don't like it. Browns, you win the upset.
You can't honestly tell me you don't like TikTok.
I don't like TikTok.
Okay.
Browns with the upset.
We'll go with that. Anyway, this game is tough. It really could go either way. I don't know if Roethlisberger is going to be back. Do you?
I have no clue.
I think that's going to be a big part of it.
It's a day-to-day thing.
Right. I think that's going to be a big part of it.
Mason Rudolph, right?
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph, Myles Garrett.
They just played last weekend. Or the weekend before.
Oh, really?
They just played, yeah. And after the game, Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph went up to each other and shook hands and said, had a conversation.
Dude, I got excited.
So it ended well.
No reason. It already happened.
But this game really could go either way. You have the Browns, who are a high firepower team. They have a lot of weapons that can make a lot of things happen. But they're all young.
They are.
I don't think really any of their players have made it to the playoffs. Kareem Hunt, did he make it to the playoffs when he was on the Chiefs? I don't know.
I don't know.
But when you look at their team, their star players, none of them have really been in this situation before. They've never really been here. That's a big
Baker
thing.
Mayfield is not scared of pressure.
But when you look at the Steelers, you have, let's say Big Ben's back, because that's really what's going to make or break this game, in my opinion. Big Ben's back. He's been here so many times. He's a seasoned veteran when it comes to this. That could be the difference maker in this game. So I don't know.
What do you think, though? Who do you think wins? You have to pick one.
For me, it's going to come down to Big Ben. If Big Ben is back, if he plays, Steelers take it. If he doesn't, Browns take it. I think it's going to be a great game either way. It's going to be a hard-fought game. There's going to be a lot of emotion left out on the field, so it's going to be an interesting game to watch because the Browns haven't been here before.
That's definitely going to be one of the more fun games.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the more fun games to watch. So if I had to pick one,
leave the TikTok dances for TikTok and not on the football field.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Come on,
I agree 100%.
It's
for not
16,
the time
it's for 16-year-olds.
You want to do that in your free time, go for it. By all means, don't really care. Do your
thing. You disrespect another team's logo, they're going to beat down on you. That's how it is.
That's absolutely true.
Okay.
But
great receiver, though.
I mean, he is a great receiver, but doesn't mean he can do whatever he wants, and the Bengals showed him that.
The Bengals.
The Bengals of all teams showed him that. But,
all right, next matchup. What is it?
So let's go. Actually, you know what? Scratch it. I'm taking the Browns. Browns for the win. I'm calling it now. Anyway.
You can't just bandwagon on my pick.
I'm not. I'm just thinking about it. I think they have
no matter who starts at quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. I think they have more firepower.
Let's go!
It could go either way, but I'm picking the Browns.
The dog pound.
All right. Next matchup. We got Colts versus Bills. Bills all the way.
Bills.
Dude, there's no way. Yeah. Besides the Chiefs, they're the powerhouse in the AFC.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, the only thing, again, is a lot of their players haven't really been here before. But wild card weekend, I don't see the Colts beating them. I mean, Phillip Rivers hasn't even really been here. He's a seasoned vet, but he hasn't really been. I mean,
he hasn't.
He has been to the playoffs, I think.
He hasn't. Has he won a game in the playoffs?
I don't know. I can't. I can't recall it.
Listen, the Bills are going to win this, in my opinion. But shout out to Phillip Rivers, man. Like, he went to a different team and he showed he still got it. Like,
yeah, I mean, he definitely does.
He's an Asian quarterback. He's like I hate to bring up the Giants again, but he's very similar to Eli Manning without the Super Bowls. Like, just a middle-of-the-line quarterback. Is he elite or is he not elite?
I mean, everybody has always compared Eli and Phillip Rivers. They're very similar quarterbacks. They were drafted in the same draft class.
That's right. Didn't they get traded for each other?
Yeah,
they got traded for each other. That's weird.
So
the Bills, Josh Allen's just...
Yeah, I mean,
Bills
barring something crazy happening,
and it's at Buffalo.
Winning. Yeah,
it's at Buffalo.
Yeah, and there's going to be fans in the stands. It's not going to be full fans, but there's going to be. I
hope it snows. I hope it snows.
I think they said like 7,000 and change fans in the stands.
That's what it's going to sound like.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, right.
So we'll see what happens there. I don't foresee the Bills.
Buy tickets.
There's no way. Dude, there's no way.
We should buy tickets.
Bro, first of all, I ain't driving 10 hours to Buffalo.
I would drive 10 hours
I mean, that would be sick, but I can't afford it.
All right.
Next up, we got Ravens-Titans. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, that's going to be the best game.
That's going to be
the
hard-fought game.
You can go first.
I want to say Titans win this game.
Really?
Yeah. I do.
You like Tannehill?
I do like Tannehill. In my opinion, he got screwed over a lot early on in his career. He got stuck on crappy teams, and
yeah, he did.
Whatever happened. But I like him a lot on the Titans. They have the best run game in the league, which is huge when you're getting into these cold season games, these late season games. You got to be, if you can run through a defense.
In the playoffs last year, man.
I mean, come on, it's Derrick Henry. Like how I really think. Even though the Ravens are a very good team, I think what it's going to come down to is Derrick Henry. What are you looking up?
Just keep talking.
Okay. I think it's going to come down to Derrick Henry. If you start to run through the defense the way he normally does, it's hard to keep up, especially late in the season like this, and especially if it's cold. And I don't know where do you know where they're playing? Are they playing in Tennessee or are they playing?
They're playing in Tennessee, I think.
Okay, so it's not going to be that cold, but
yeah, Ravens at Titans. Oh, they're the same record too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hard fought game. It's going to be a great game. I think because of Tennessee's run offense, and just being able to tire out the Ravens defense throughout the game. I think they take it. And then Tannehill, he's not anything crazy good. He's not elite or anything like that, but he plays consistently well, or at least he has since he's been on the Titans. So I take the Titans. Lamar.
My turn.
Yeah.
My turn. Tell me, did the Ravens lose in the playoffs first round last year?
I don't know, did they?
I think they did.
I
hope I'm right. If I'm not right, this is bad. However, it doesn't matter because I think the Ravens are winning. And you know why I think the Ravens are winning?
Why? Because of Lamar Jackson?
Literally Lamar Jackson. He could run it. He could pass it. And he's frustrated about last year. I really think he is, and I think he's going to come through and win it.
I mean,
Listen, the Titans, Derrick Henry, I think he's... Is he the best running back in the league?
This year, absolutely.
I think he's the best running back in the league. He's massive.
When you have guys like Saquon Barkley who have been out all year, I mean, he's very close second to Derrick Henry, in my opinion. I mean, obviously he didn't play this year, so we don't have this year to base off of.
I'm taking the Ravens.
And then you have guys like Zeke who have been battling injuries all year long too. It's hard to say for sure, but this year, absolutely no question about it. But I think. I know you're saying Lamar Jackson, and yeah, he absolutely has the ability to just turn it on and run the game. But I think, it comes down to Tennessee's run game if they can control the clock, and which they definitely have the ability to do. They could just take long, meticulous drives down the field. And
that's true. It could come down to time of possession.
Yeah, and take the time of possession away from the Ravens because the Ravens are, for the most part, are a fast-scoring team because they're just a high-power team. So...
Yeah, they are a high-powered team. The Ravens just go down the field quick, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They play two completely different games. You're right.
So I think that's what it's going to come down to a lot too.
I'm picking the Ravens. I just have a gut feeling Ravens going to win.
But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Next game.
Next game we got Rams Seahawks.
Wait, I say it on 3, 3, 2, 1. Seahawks.
Yeah. I mean, then again, who knows? It depends what Seahawks team shows up. If the Seahawks team shows up that played against the Giants.
Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting game. The Rams have a great defense. They have Aaron Donald. They have Jalen Ramsey. They have a bunch of other guys. They have a high-powered defense. Their offense isn't quite as high-powered. They do have some good players. They have a good quarterback. Jared Goff is good, but what?
Oh, wait. Didn't Jared Goff get hurt?
Oh, he did. You're right. I don't know if he's going to be back, though. I don't know what his injury was.
His thumb injury.
It
was a broken thumb. He dislocated his thumb.
Let's see if I can look it up real quick.
If Jared Goff's not playing, it's going to be a blowout. I think this game's going to be a blowout. Also, DK Metcalf, I predicted his greatness. I know he was...
I did the same thing.
I predicted it.
I drafted him on my
the fantasy team. Let's go.
Yeah, I did the same
bro.
thing.
Last year, not this year. Last year, I drafted him on my fantasy
his rookie
team
year.
late, and he was sick.
Yes.
I knew it. I knew he was going to be sick. He was... Look at how he's built. He's like a Derrick Henry at the wide receiver position. And he runs faster than anybody.
Did you see him run down, I think it was Budda Baker, earlier in the season?
Yes.
Dude, that was crazy.
No, that's not humanly possible for like 99% of the population.
All right, Jared Goff's uncertain.
Uncertain. Doesn't matter. They're losing either way. Russell Wilson's great.
It comes down to the Seahawks play, how bad they want it, to me.
Which Seahawks show up?
I think they play. I think they come out to play. I think they come out to win, and I think they take the game. But
DK Metcalf is going to get 2 touchdowns.
I mean, they also aren't
8
what they
receptions
once were.
and 95 yards.
Good luck with that, bud. The Seahawks aren't what they once were, but neither are the Rams. So it could go either way, but I see the Seahawks taking it.
All right,
next game we got Bears versus Saints. That's to me, that's no question. The Saints are going to demolish it.
Doo-doo.
The Bears have sparks of goodness in them. They have played well this season in certain aspects, but I don't foresee them beating the Saints. I mean, how do you vote against Drew Brees in a game like this? You can't.
I think the Saints are gonna demolish the Bears too. Seahawks demolish Rams. Saints demolish the Bears.
I don't know if the Seahawks will demolish the Rams. I think it'll be a
pretty
one-sided
When I say
game.
demolish, I mean like 15 points to 20 points. The Saints are actually going to demolish the Bears.
It's going to be a blowout.
It's going to be a blowout.
But we'll see what happens.
I don't even want to talk about that game, honestly.
What game?
The Bears versus Saints. There's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to talk about.
If the Bears lose, I'm just going to stop this after episode 1 of this podcast, honestly.
No, we're not.
I mean, if the Bears win. I said the Bears
we're
lose.
not.
The Bears win. Okay.
I mean, anything's possible. It is the NFL, but I don't foresee it happening. Next game up, we got Bucks versus Washington. This game is going to be interesting. And the reason I say that is the Washington football team, I keep forgetting.
We got it. I didn't get it. He got it.
They have an insane defensive line.
They do.
Tom Brady's biggest weakness is being put under pressure.
Because he can't run out.
He can't
run out of trouble. He's too old.
Not only that, you put him, he starts rushing. No matter how, he is a great quarterback, don't get me wrong. But you put him under pressure enough, he starts rushing, and it's in the back of his head, and for whatever reason, he can't shake it. That's how the Giants beat them. Both times in the Super Bowl. That's how the Giants won. The Giants had crazy defensive lines. They got to Tom Brady. They got in his head. If Washington can do that,
actually,
they could pull the upset.
You're kind of right.
Do
you think the upset's going to happen, though?
I don't think the upset's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
I really don't.
But don't be surprised.
Right. If it were to happen, that's how it's going to happen. Because that's Tom Brady's weakness.
I just need to see Tom Brady throw downfield.
It's not going to happen.
He can't throw downfield.
It's not that he can't. That's just not his style of play.
I just feel like...
especially now in his career. I mean, he doesn't have... Just like any quarterback.
I love Tom Brady, though.
I don't. I personally can't stand the guy.
I am a Giants fan. We beat him, so I have nothing against him. I love Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's sick. I was happy when he went to the Bucks. Fresh start to prove to everybody that he was the reason that the Patriots won and not Bill Belichick. And he proved it.
I'm sorry, but I don't think you can say that.
Why?
Because look at the weapons the Bucks put around him. He didn't do it. The team did it.
I don't care. He's in the playoffs.
Yeah, but the team did it. And even in New England, he didn't do it. The team did it because they always had when they had Randy Moss, it's Randy Moss.
How many rings does he have?
6.
That's all that needs to be said. That needs to be said.
That's not a personal stat.
That is a personal stat. He has 6 rings.
It is, but it's not though. It's not though. It's a team stat.
Okay.
And on every
it's a personal stat.
The
rings are for him.
Right, but on
the trophy is a personal stat.
The
Lombardi Trophy.
Everyone on that team gets that stat, but
yes. Okay,
so it's a team stat.
He has 6 of them.
Right, but the thing is, every team that he's gone to the playoffs with,
they've been sick.
You know what? What's the saying?
Once a champion, always a champion.
No. Defense wins championships. Almost every Super Bowl team Tom Brady has been on has had great defenses.
Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a great defense?
They have a good defense.
They don't have a great defense. It's decent.
No, it's better than decent. It's good. All right. It's a good defense. They have some good players on that team.
The Bucks,
but
I think the Bucks.
I think what it comes down to is the pressure.
Who do the Bucks play if they beat Washington? I don't know.
I don't know what the.
I think the Bucks.
I think it goes by lowest seed. I don't think it's set yet.
As Skip Bayless says, Tampa Bay can make a run in the playoffs and potentially go to the Super Bowl.
No way.
Yes.
No way. There's no way they get. There's no way they get past both the Packers and the Saints.
Are they going to do it?
There's no way they get past both the Packers and the Saints.
They beat Washington. And depending on who they play next round, I'll let you know.
No, there's no way. There's no way they get past both the Packers and the Saints. There's no way.
Okay, and that's the last game. Anyway, Packers, Kansas City.
They got the bye.
Kansas City's sick.
Oh,
Kansas City's sick. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Kansas City's going to win the Super Bowl. How could you bet against Kansas City?
Let's see. I think
Kansas City's winning the Super Bowl.
Yes, I
don't even have to look at anything else.
I agree. If anybody, I don't foresee Kansas City not getting to the Super Bowl, but as we've seen, look at the Patriots, Giants 2007 and 2011. Anything can happen in the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl does crazy things to people. Yeah. So anything could happen, but I don't foresee them not getting to the Super Bowl unless it's because of the Bills. The Bills are the only team that I see in the AFC being able to beat Kansas City. I don't.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
There's no team I see capable of beating Kansas City except the Bills. They have
Colts,
a great defense.
No.
They have a great defense and a good offense.
Ravens.
No, I don't see them beating Kansas City, bro. There's no way. Patrick Mahomes will mop up the floor with the Ravens.
I agree. Okay, I think Kansas. It's going to be Kansas City versus Buffalo, depending on how the bracket
for
looks.
the AFC
I don't
Championship.
even know. Yeah, and I don't know how the bracket looks though.
Neither do I.
It could not even line up like that. But those are the two best teams in the AFC.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be that.
And then the two best teams in the NFC. We don't know the bracket, but if we had to list the top two, the NFC Championship, I would have
Packers,
to go.
Saints. Packers, Saints.
Tampa Bay, baby.
No, you're
Tampa Bay.
Packers, Saints. Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers. Come on.
Okay.
Drew Brees.
Packers.
It's Drew Brees. Come on. They both the Packers and the Saints have decent at worst defenses. Those are my two favorites for the NFC. That's what I see happening. But
is there anything else you want to talk about? That's everything we have written down. I mean, we could talk about the NBA a little bit, but I think we'll save that for another episode.
I mean, it's up to you. I haven't been really watching the NBA because I've been so focused on football personally. But
all I have to say is let's go Knicks. We'll talk about the NBA in a different episode. Let's go Knicks. 4-3. They're looking freaking great. Can't wait to see what happens.
That's a big turnaround from what you were saying when the season first started.
Yeah, after the first game, I was like, screw the Knicks. They're not doing anything. But now I'm just like, all right, they're pretty good. RJ Barrett, very streaky. However, when he's on, he's on. Julius Randle's going to be an all-star this year. Mitchell Robinson, I've always loved Mitchell Robinson. He's the big man. He's in the middle. He gets all the rebounds. He gets all the blocks. He does the dirty work where it catches those lobs. Alfred Payton, couple good games, couple bad games, but you have so many point guards behind him. You have Emmanuel Quickley. You have Austin Rivers. You have... I can't think right now. But you have a lot of players behind him. Kevin Knox hits three-pointers in the corner. Looking good. He's a good role player. Who else do we have? Obi Toppin's hurt. A couple other players I'm forgetting, but the Knicks are looking good. All right, that's all I got to say.
I do want to say one thing about the NBA. One thing that I have watched or seen. Have you seen the Miami Heat's new colors?
Disgusting.
Bro, I was like, what is going...
Dude, last year's jersey is so fire. God. I actually just ordered last year's City Edition Miami jersey because it's so fresh. I got D-Wade because how can you not get D-Wade? But their jerseys this year are disgusting.
Dude, I saw that.
They look like a cotton candy.
And the paint is colored the same exact way. It looks dumb as hell when they're on the court. Disgusting.
We should do...
Disgusting.
You know what we should do next episode? NFL jersey reviews, 1 through 30 or 32, whatever it is. NBA jersey reviews. Let's just do the whole shebang. I'm down for that.
I'm down. I mean, that's not a bad idea. We could talk about. If you guys want to see that,
leave it in the comments. We don't have no followers right now, no subscribers. But leave it in the comments what you want to see.
Also, I mean, this is our first video. If you guys liked what you heard, if you liked listening to us, if you didn't like it, whatever the case may be. If you want to give us a subscribe, that'd be sick. If you want to tell your friends about us, that'd be sick too. Right? We're just out here trying to have a good time. If there's anything that you want to see talked about, leave it in the comments. All right? I had a lot of fun doing this. Our goals are to have videos uploaded every week by Wednesday at 7 p.m.
For now, once a week.
Yeah, I mean, if we get more into it and we get more time, because we're both pretty busy right now, maybe we'll start doing it more often. But for right now, it's going to be once a week. Videos uploaded by 7 p.m. Wednesday.
We both have school, full-time jobs, so we're just trying to figure things out.
But yeah, we're just doing this for fun at the moment, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Who knows if you guys will even like us? Well, I guess we'll find out, right?
And we don't have an outro, but I guess we'll just say peace.
We're out. Catch you all later. See you next week.